Hello and welcome to another edition of Superhero Movie Review Time. I'm your host Grant Liston, a very bored Englishman. Oh, here we go. This week I shall be reviewing 2016's Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Directed by Zack Snyder, this is the second instalment of the DCEU, following from 2013's Man of Steel. This is also the first time in movie history that we see a live-action Batman meet Superman. The stakes were high going into this movie. So we start off with a young Bruce Wayne with his parents leaving the theatre. I know, we've seen it before. But I like this one because it's shorter, it's condensed, and I love how the opening credits appear on the screen. It's very Arkham game series, it's like a bit over here, but over here. It was really, really tense, and I thought, okay, I know I've seen this before, but they're keeping it short, that's going to be fine. However, two things then happen that really pull me out the film. The first being Negan from The Walking Dead playing Bruce Wayne's father, doing his Rosebud moment with the whole Martha. And trust me, we'll get to that bit soon. The second bit that gets me is this whole, the Waynes are having their funeral. Once again, it's nice that it's nice and short and condensed. I like that. But when Bruce then runs off into the woods, that goes on for quite some time. And then falls down the well, and I'm like, okay, we've seen this bit before from Batman Begins. Then the bats all swirl around him, and I'm like, okay. He's meant to be terrified of the bats start off, but now he's being elevated into the sky. It looks fucking weird! Literally, I'm like, oh god, are they going to have like this Batman who can actually fly? Are they making like Batman a meta-human as well, not just some guy in a suit? Because if that's the case, nah, I want to shack out already. Luckily that's not the case, but it's not that much better. So then we jump forward in time to during the final fight between Superman and General Zod. And it turns out that Bruce Wayne, played by Ben Affleck, very quickly on a side note here, when they announced that Ben Affleck was playing Batman, I was fucking terrified. Literally, I was like, oh no. No. And then we started hearing Batfleck, and then we saw a meme of him running down the street dressed as Batman with Matt Damon as Robin, and oh god, no. He's fine. Generally, his Bruce Wayne is spot on. There's only one moment he appears as Ben Affleck instead of the character. But it's such a small moment you don't even really notice it. His Batman's pretty damn good as well. Like, it's not Christian Bale, it's not Michael Keaton. It's better than Clooney, and I'd say it's better than Kilmer too. Adam West gets a category all to himself because, Adam West. Ben Affleck's performance, I'd say, is fine. It's not perfect, it's not shit, it's fine. So we see Bruce Wayne driving through a war-torn metropolis, dodging over cars and people, random horses, and all the debris and destruction. There's a really annoying part that I didn't really clock on to until I heard other people talking about it, which was, he's driving, he's going really crazy, he gets the phone, Jack, get everyone out of there. Why haven't they already got out of there? I completely forgot about that moment leaving the cinema. But it was only when other people started talking about it, I was like, yeah, that's a really good point, shit. Why are they just like, spaceship, kabooey, should we leave, sir? Bruce Wayne owns this building, we'll leave in our own time. Shit. Now, there's another part here that annoys me slightly, because it's then 18 months later, and Metropolis is fully built. 18 months later for that kind of destruction? Are they deliberately trying to piss me off here, or do they just not really think that one through? We now come to the first of very many odd moments in this film. It's the bath scene. How to describe this if you've never seen this film before? It's weird. Superman has saved Lois Lane in the desert, for reasons, quite simply. We don't even know why she's there in the first place. Like, I suppose she's interviewing a terrorist, I guess. They don't really delve into that. There's a big old firefight, and then like Superman arrives to save the day, and you kind of think, oh, typical Superman moment. Saves Lois Lane when she's in danger. I honestly don't see the appeal why people love Superman so much, but apparently they love tried and tested. So now they're back in Metropolis, in their apartment, and for some reason, Lois Lane, played again by Amy Adams, who is there. I can't say it's a bad performance, I just don't care about the character. My experiences of Lois Lane are from the original movies, who was just, sorry to be sexist here, but very typical female character back then, and the cartoon one, who had a bit of spitfire about her, but cartoons can get away with so much that live action can't. Amy Adams has that ferocity, but she's just not used in the right way. She still comes across as this pandering, gooey-eyed teenager, like, he's got abs. So she is, Amy Adams, Lois Lane, she's having a bath. You don't see any bits and pieces, but she's having a bath. And then Clark comes in, and they have this chat. There is no reason at all that Amy Adams needs to be nude in this scene. Like, I don't know if he's trying to go for artsy or just smutty, but Amy Adams is butt naked in this bath with no bubbles. Right, seriously, this is the sort of woman I can imagine enjoying her luxury. She's gonna have a bubble bath. This water looks tepid, right? There's no steam rising up either. I know ladies who will literally, like a lizard, seep into this boiling lava they call water. But no, this just looks like complete tepid water, and she's laying in this bath. Clark comes in, they have a chat about what Superman can and can't do, and then next you know, he's just standing in the tub with her. And then he gets down to business, and then water starts piling over the sides, and he probably gives her a good scene too. It's just really, really odd. They could have had the same conversation, and maybe in like a make-out session, I suppose, and the point would still get across. But it's just an odd choice to me. Why a bath? What are you doing? It may just be me. It really could be, but I did not get it. We now come to a rather interesting choice in cast. Lex Luthor. I personally would have gone for Joaquin Phoenix. However you pronounce that name. I'm taking a brave stab there. I sounded really confident. I have no idea if I've said that name right. Could be Joaquin, Shaquin. I'm going for Joaquin Phoenix because it's easier to say. I would have gone for him, maybe Bryan Cranston. I know a lot of people would like to see Rosenbaum from Smallville to retake up the role because he was quality. Then for Jesse Eisenberg. And I thought, okay, I know I don't like that decision because he doesn't look like Lex Luthor. But I like Jesse Eisenberg. I think he's a very good actor. Let's see what he can do. And he's the Riddler. I do not care what anyone says to me. People are like, oh, he's definitely the Joker, you know, he's just not Lex Luthor, he's Lex Luthor's son. No, he's the Riddler. This film, everything he does is so... He's the Riddler! Like, the only thing he's missing is literally riddles. I know it sounds really strange, so bear with me as I explain, okay? The traps he sets, his actions, his little quirks, his, what was I doing? I'm smarter than you! I am smarter than you! It's just the Riddler! He's trying to prove something. The Riddler as a character wants to prove he's smarter and better than Batman. In this scenario, he's trying to bend the will of gods. If that isn't something the Riddler would do, I'm crazy. The Joker was more chaotic and anarchy and maybe more mafia orientated, depending on what Joker you like. Lex Luthor is more cunning, shrewd, businesslike and ruthless. I didn't really get any of that from Jesse Eisenberg. It does lead to, quite possibly, the single most infuriating moment for me personally, though. For some reason, and the reason is not explained, I rewound it twice. For some reason, Lex Luthor is holding a party to which Bruce Wayne has been invited, and they mention something about libraries and books. Okay? So maybe it's Save a Library, maybe it's the building of a library, do not know. He's invited to a party. Clark Kent is also there at this party, taking pictures, even though he was told to cover sports. So, the party goes on, and Clark can hear with his super hearing that Bruce is talking to Alfred because they want to infiltrate the place. Really, it's kind of all over the place, this plot, so bear with me. Finally, after Lex Luthor bumbles through this really uncomfortable speech about the Greek gods and etc, etc, Clark starts talking to Bruce about the Gotham Bat. Still don't know why he's referred to as the Gotham Bat when apparently he's been Batman for decades now. Besides the point. And then Lex Luthor walks in and goes, I love bringing people together. Clark Kent, meet Bruce Wayne. Why? The scene establishes very early on, as Bruce Wayne gets out of his car, Clark Kent goes, who's that guy? That's Bruce Wayne. So Clark doesn't know who he is. Bruce would have no idea who this random reporter is, like, at all. It's Bruce Wayne, he's a reporter guy, not even a very acknowledged reporter like Lois Lane. So he's going to have no clue who that is. Furthermore, yeah, Lex is gonna know Bruce. They're billionaires. Of course they are. They're scientists as well. Why would Lex know Clark Kent? He's just another reporter, a camera guy, a jockey, if you will. And then all of a sudden he has the balls to say, oh look, random person meet random person. I love bringing people together. These two people have got absolutely nothing in common. Like, you should, and even worse, if you listen carefully, Lex Luthor says, Bruce Wayne, meet Clark Kent. He then shakes Bruce's hand, shakes Clark, goes, hi, Lex, nice to meet you. He introduces himself to someone he already knows. This is pathetic writing. Pathetic. So we're going to fast forward through this film now, because I'm just getting angry. And we come to really weird scene number 2. This dream sequence. So Bruce Wayne has hacked into LexCorp's technologies and he's downloading something, only for it to be stolen by Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot. Get damn over here! Wow, she's amazing. I am in love with Gal Gadot, whatever. Just amazing. And as Wonder Woman, she is phenomenal. They have this lovely playful back and forth flirting. You know what? This is where Ben Affleck flourishes because he's such a player. I mean, he really pulls off the Bruce Wayne here. This is golden television right now. But it's cut short. And so Bruce is in the Batcave downloading some LexCorp crap and he falls asleep. And we get this dream sequence. It's basically what they did in Age of Ultron with Thor going into the pool and having visions of Ragnarok. None of which actually happened in Ragnarok. Keep that in mind. Because then Bruce is in this apocalyptic future where he's after kryptonite, presumably to take out Superman. And then he's duped by the sellers of the weapons, and then these black-cladded army guys with a Superman patch on the arm. I missed that first time round. But so these are the soldiers of Superman, apparently. Interesting concept. So, I don't know why he'd need an army. He's a one-man army. And Bruce gets duped and taken down. In this dream sequence, he kills 8 people. 1 neck break, the rest by gunshot. Batman kills? Okay. It's not like with Spider-Man, who he's half owned by Sony, half owned by Marvel, they're doing a loan deal thing. So there's going to be different aspects. Warner Brothers owns DC, or the rights to the DC films and that, so there's only one adaptation of Batman they can really work on, I suppose. So why have they then spent several years from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight Rises giving us this Batman who refuses to kill? I know it's not the same Batman, I know it's a completely different thing, but then why have they given casual audiences and die-hard comic book fans a Batman who does not kill to bring us the big blockbuster of the summer where Batman kills? It doesn't make sense. It drives me mental thinking about it. But in this dream sequence, he's a cold-blooded murderer. He's then apprehended by a parademon and is knocked unconscious. He finds himself chained up in some sort of weird, sexy, kinky dungeon lit by Superman with 2 of his cronies, and then Superman, laser vision, and then stares at Bruce. And he goes, she was my world. And I suppose he rips Bruce's heart out. It kind of cuts out too soon. And you're thinking, oh, it was just a dream sequence, as he wakes up all startled. And then it gets stupider. Bruce awakens from that dream to be visited by the Flash, played by Ezra Miller. Flash has come back in time to warn Bruce. Now, if you let me divulge, I've actually written down exactly what Flash has said. It goes like this. Bruce, listen to me now. It's Lois. It's Lois Lane. She's the key. Am I too soon? Ugh, I'm too soon. You're right about him. You've always been right about him. Fear him, fear him. Find us, Bruce. You have to find us. What? So, I believe that this film is trying to make us believe that Superman does go rogue in the future because of Lois Lane. Now, I want everyone to remember those words when watching the future movies, because this is what happens when you don't focus at the task at hand of just making Batman versus Superman, instead of trying to create the Justice League in a completely different movie. Like they've tried to converge so many different storylines into one movie, and it's just too much. Why has the Flash come back to this point here? We'll probably find out in a later movie. Fair enough. But they've got to remember these words. And I hope that when I do the Justice League video, you guys pay attention to those exact words. So, upon downloading the information from LexCorp, Bruce discovers what he's looking for. He's looking for a boat called the White Portuguese, and on board this boat is a lump of kryptonite. Okay, so he scales this massive crane, and he takes out his sniper and shoots a tracking beaker onto the lorry. Classic Batman. Now all he's got to do is wait for this lorry to head back to wherever it's going to, and he can track it. Batman's supposed to be a very intelligent detective. I would probably assume that it would head to LexCorp. Bear in mind, he was hacking LexCorp technology to find out this information about LexCorp. But alas, he plants a tracker on him and goes home and has a nice hot mug of cocoa served up by Alfred, and they have a lovely old chat. No, they don't, do they? He shoots a tracker on them to then pursue them in the Bat Tank. He shoots a tracker onto the lorry, or truck if you're American, to track them. So he doesn't need to whip out machine guns and pancake cars and decapitate people and cause so much fucking carnage it makes your head spin. But that's exactly what he fucking does. He shoots a tracker. He can go home. He can have a nap. He can go to LexCorp later at his own convenience and be a sneaky super sleuth and steal it back. But no, he decides to give us a Transformers movie all by his fucking self. I don't like this movie. At all. There is one good thing that comes out of the fact that he's got machine guns out and killing cars. Kill count of at least 13 people. If there's at least 2 people per car, he destroys. Not to mention the time where he uses the Batmobile to crash into the back of a lorry at an angle, just missing one of the higher up henchmen you see every now and again, and killing, quite clearly killing a henchman with his car. But as I said, there is one good thing that comes out of it, and that is his reaction when he skids around a corner and there's that slow-mo of Superman just standing there, and he's like, oh shit, and then clangs into Superman, spins out. Superman rips the roof of the Batmobile off, and they stand there staring each other down. That was fucking awesome. That's what I enjoyed. And they cut that short as well, with a really shit line, if I'm honest, as well. It's like, let me ask you something. Do you bleed? You will. He's gone, man. Just drop it, alright? You could live with, do you bleed? He flies off. And maybe just a nod like, why does that have to go, you will? He can't, he can hear him. He doesn't know he can hear him. So the bulk of this film is dedicated to Superman not smiling. Yeah, not smiling. That's everyone's biggest problem with this film. So Superman is like doing these heroic things, and people, mainly the government, are like, "Oh, he's unaccountable. What if he does this?" and etc. Rabble, and it's really boring. And he gets summoned to a court case, and there's a guy there who's missing his legs, and he's been given a wheelchair by Lex Luthor to confront him. He's been cleaned up, and it's really boring, this part. But I'll admit, I was genuinely surprised at what happened here. So this guy wants Superman to admit that he's responsible for what happened in Metropolis, which he is, and basically, I don't even know what does he want money? What does he want out of Superman? Are they going to do this whole like Civil War thing where he can only go if the government tell him to go? It's really like, okay, you set up this whole court thing, people there protesting or supporting, and they've got the whole people there in the court, photographers and everything. They don't actually say what they want out of it. Superman does show up expecting either punishment or a compromise. And the surprising thing is he gets neither, because Lex Luthor's planted a bomb in the wheelchair and blows everybody up. I was like, oh, damn. I actually didn't see that part coming. Damn, that was quite cool. But if he's going to... was that meant to be like I'm framing Superman, killing all these senators and civilians and reporters? Or was this just a, haha, I got rid of people I don't like moment? They don't really clear that up. It's just... And I think the worst part for me in all of that is Superman's reaction of just, damn. That's all his face conveys. Like, Superman at this point should be like, what has happened? What have I... More dramatic and better acting, I suppose, but what has happened? Oh, God, what has happened? What have I done? Oh, this guy's like, shit, damn. But my favourite shirt, it's like fuck all reaction, just like, damn. And then fucks off and flies. He doesn't then like inform people, bomb came from over here, clearly not me. Instead, he just looks like the guilty party and fucks off. The rest of the film is dedicated to the Riddler, Lex Luthor, and he's got Zod's body and the ship. He's doing experiments on them because corrupt politicians, let's just say that. And he's been taught by the ship Kryptonian past, I guess. We don't really see it, they just sort of like say, oh, I know things about 100,000 different planets. He's like, oh, teach me. He then lowers Zod's body into this paddling pool and slits his palm. He's like, oh, literally, uber weird. So he's basically creating Doomsday. But there's one little thing I said in the cinema, in my head, I'm not out loud, I'm not a dick. But there's one thing that happens, and I'll just sit there and go, what? Like, he's got like a Kryptonian scalpel, bear with me, and he's got the palm of Zod, and he's scraping off fingerprints, and then gets those fingerprints and goes, haha, trick the ship, I can now get into it. Why don't you just cut his hand off? Fadunk. Why'd have you precision peeling and get that shit? Just drag the body over there, have to cut the hand off. Saves a lot of fucking time, doesn't it? But I didn't write this movie. We now come to the third weird scene in this movie. I don't know how to take it. I just don't. Okay? I do not know how to take it. Clark has decided to exile himself because he feels bad that people died. Okay. So he's in the Arctic, I guess, tracking through the snow, when he comes across his dad. Not Jor-El, which would have made more sense because Jor-El has proven that, okay, he's died, he can come back as a hologram projector with sentient thought. I know. He sees Jonathan Kent, who is dead, but he sees him on this snowy top putting rocks on a pile, and he's like, isn't that beautiful? And I'm like, no, it's rubble. It's shit. But he's really proud of his rubble, his rock rubble. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? No, it's like, you're dead and no, it's shit. They're the two things I would have said to him. So this begs a question. Is Clark losing his mind? He's seeing his dead dad. A premonition? A hallucination? Or, I know, ooh, it looks edgy filmmaking, which I cannot stand. Visualization of film can work wonders, but when there's no logic behind it, it drives me mad. Michael Bay movies where the young couple are getting cuddly on the sofa and there's 1,000 candles being lit. Did they really find 1,000 candles and light them all and strategically place them everywhere? No, they fucking didn't. The shot looked better. Okay? Jonathan Kent is dead. There is no way that Clark can have this conversation with him because they never had this conversation in real life. Okay? No, this Superman has now lost his fucking mind or is on one hell of a drug trip. And it pisses me off. So here we go. We're finally at the moment. Batman taking on Superman. The build up to this is simple. Lex Luthor has discovered who Batman is and who Superman is off screen. He then has Martha kidnapped. It's Martha Kent, by the way. He also has Lois Lane kidnapped and brought to the rooftop. And if this is not a Riddler move I've ever seen one, I'm crazy, okay? This is a Riddler plan. I want you, he's talking to Superman, I want you to go over there and kill Batman for me, proving that I'm better than God. I have outsmarted God. That is just the Riddler. So, he pushes Lois Lane off the building and Clark swoops in and saves her. Puts her safe on the ground, goes back up there and is like, right, I'm taking you in sort of thing, you've got no chance. And even I'm like, yeah, like this guy's got no chance, it's Superman. And it's like, well, guess what I've got? I've got Martha. Ah! Can anyone else hear the Riddler in that one? So he's talking away and he's like, well, basically, I want you to go kill Batman and come back here and bring me his head. Or, if not, I'm going to burn the witch. And then he said, oh my God, I forgot about this line. Oh God. This is unequivocal proof that this is the Riddler. When you first got here, you had an hour. Now it's less. I'm not hearing any other argument to disprove me. This guy is the Riddler. Just using Lex Luthor as the disguised name, I guess. So, Superman goes to the meet-up point because Bruce is shining the bat signal in the sky and they come face to face. And of course, the rain's pouring down, thunder's going, fight night's happening. Oh my God. Yeah, I want to see Batman and Superman kick the shit out of each other. We all do. It looks awesome. But I want to be invested in why they're fighting. I want to know. I want to feel it. I want them to have I want them to go, you know what, I can see why he's doing that and I can see why he wants this. And the way they're going to solve it is kicking the living shit out of each other. That's what I want to see. That's what made Civil War so good because Steve Rogers, Captain America, had such a great ideal. And yet you can understand why you want to sign the Sokovia Accords with Tony Stark's Iron Man. Because of the destruction they're unaccountable for. Two equal arguments coming together at a head. This fight can end quite simply with Superman going, Bruce, Lex Luthor has kidnapped my mother. We can have this out later, but first I need your help to take down Lex Luthor. Then we can do this later. Instead, he's like, Bruce, you need to listen to me. And Bruce is like, nah, machine guns. And okay, let's move on to the actual fight itself. The fight itself is pretty cool. You know, there's this really weird part near the start where he literally so obviously gets out a smoke bomb and he's like, ooh, smoke bomb. And it's really weird, it just looks off, right? But then he's gas canistered with gassed form of kryptonite. And so Bruce can then start pounding on Superman. And that's when it starts getting cool. And they do literally throw the kitchen sink at each other. The fight itself is good. But when you're not invested in a good fight, you don't care. You know? And then, of course, we get Oscar-worthy moment of screenwriting. How to stop these two behemoths going at it is for one simple cry of a mother's name. Mum! The end. Of course not. Of course. Bruce Wayne is stepping on Superman. He's got the kryptonite spear. Of all weapons, really? A spear? Yeah. And he's going to kill him. And Superman goes, Martha! Who shouts their mother's real name? You have to save Martha! If I was in that scenario, I wouldn't be shouting, Lynn! Lynn! Because it sounds ridiculous. I'll be like, don't do this. I have to save my mother. I have to save my mum. I have to save the birth giver. I have to save the woman. Martha! It's a fucking joke, this movie. Seriously. I can find maybe a handful of things I like, but this movie just craps on everything. Absolutely everything. But what makes this even worse is the fact that it works as well. Bruce's like, why do you say that name? And then Lois Lane appears, because, you know, that's what Lois does. She just appears. And it's like, it's his mother's name. I have the same mother's name. We both have mothers. We can be friends now. If all of my bullying could have been solved as a child with me looking at my bully and saying, I have a mother, he'd be like, I've got a mum too. I am so sorry. Life would have turned out a lot differently. Really would have. But no, life does not work like that. On the plus side, we do get a really cool scene with Batman now, because Batman's like, okay, Superman, you go to Lex Luthor, you stop whatever he's doing, I'm going to go save Martha. Martha! And very quickly, Alfred's like, oh, by the way, sorry for eavesdropping, but I found Martha, she's at the docks, go nuts. And he's like, well, thank you, Alfred. Nice and simple, keeps the 2.5 hour runtime moving smoothly, doesn't it? And so Batman flies over there and he does go nuts. He takes these henchmen and kicks the living shit out of them. Some say it's too violent and it's not what Batman would do. I look at it and go, yeah, that's pretty cool actually. He's got a reason for hurting people and I like it. I don't think he potentially killed anyone here, but he broke a lot of bones, and that's kind of what I expect out of Batman. Yeah. Superman arrives at the ship and Lex Luthor is like, well, you didn't kill the Bat, so, you know, here is your Doomsday. And he's created Doomsday as another villain for the film, and it's just brainless ogre monster CGI thing they've got to kill. I want to say it's a good fight scene, but meh. It does, however, give us a really cool shot with Wonder Woman stands in the middle with flanked by Superman and Batman, and they're like, yeah, ready to fight. And Supes is like, is she with you? And Bats is like, I thought she was with you. And I was like, why did you ruin a good moment? Just that one moment, like, yeah, badass moment, right, now go kick the shit out of it. Don't know what Batman's going to do, you two kick the shit out of that thing, yeah. And it's like, stop, okay? Just you had a good moment. Don't ruin it with a joke. No. So Lois Lane decides to be helpful. She takes the kryptonite spear and she finds like a indoor cathedral swimming pool with no end. I don't know. And she's like, oh no, we need that spear to kill this unkillable monster. And of course she dives back in there to retrieve the spear, rubble falls down, oh she's trapped, dun, dun, dun. And I shit you not, every single person who saw this in cinema when it came out went, Aquaman's coming, isn't he? Aquaman's gonna save her. It's like, here I am, here's your spear. But no, Clark's in the middle of a fight and goes, woman, and flies off to save her, leaving Batman and Wonder Woman to basically die at this point to save Lois Lane. And then this happens. Superman gets the spear. So already in my mind it's like, okay, so he can't really now run really fast or fly really fast. So what I would do if I was Superman would be like, Wonder Woman, here, catch. And she'd be like, Amazonian, whoopah! Right? Because, you know, she's awesome at combat, would know how to throw a spear, and would just look amazing doing it because she will be my wife. No point giving it to Batman unless he's got a harpoon gun on board, which to be fair he probably does actually. That'd be cool as well. Bats! But no, Superman decides, fuck it, kryptonite doesn't really work on me, I'm gonna fly. So he's flying. Admittedly, he's like hindered, I guess, by this hunk of what would kill him. So he's flying like, la da da da, stab! And at this point, Doomsday's like, well, here's my pointy thing, stab you too! Stab everyone! And Superman dies. In the second film of the franchise, Superman is killed off. No, I'm not buying either. And we finish off with the funeral. One for Superman, one for Clark Kent, who mysteriously died on the same day. And Lex Luthor's locked away in prison. They shave his head bald, so now he really looks like Lex Luthor. And he's been contacted by a future bad guy, and he is coming. He is coming. Just get him off the screen before he has a fucking heart attack. Get him off the screen. It's bad. It's bad, okay? And then, of course, they do this whole thing where there's a little bit of dirt on Clark Kent's grave, and it's about to end the film, and there's a few specks of dirt drift up. Cut to black. Film's done. No after-credit scene. Superman's dead. Fuck you. And that was Batman vs Superman. A waste of my time, a waste of my money, and quite honestly just puts me in a bad mood whenever I think of it. However, I'm here to review, and I'm here to judge it fairly. So, as always, I'm going to give my 3 good and 3 bad. Of course, starting with the bad, starting with number 3, Jesse Eisenberg. I wouldn't say he's the worst thing about this movie, because his acting is still fine. He's portraying a fantastic Riddler. If he was the Riddler in this movie, he'd be on the good. But no, he is Lex Luthor in this. I understand that everyone's got to take a different way of portraying characters, but this was just so not what people wanted or expected. So it went down like a lead balloon. It was just so off. Nobody wanted it. Nobody asked for it. Why couldn't we have got... at this point I would have taken a black lady playing Lex Luthor over Jesse Eisenberg. I really get the internet trolls going mad, but there's so many decent candidates out there to play a Lex Luthor in this style, but instead they went with the guy who created Facebook. And he could have done it. He could have really done well, but I don't know whether it was him or the writing or director, but they said to him, go mad, go nuts with this crazy individual. Some say he's like the Joker, and nervous tick of the face aside, I can't agree with you. Joker's never been that organised or that insistent on that being that shit, I guess. I don't know, I see more Riddler than I do Joker, but that's just me personally. And number 2, the cinema cut and the director's cut. I'm all for directors making this movie and being like, this is my masterpiece, and the studio go, you've got to trim that down. That's like 17 hours long. You either make it a 2-parter or just trim it down to 2.5 hours. And him going, okay, I can lose a couple of things here and there, but this bullshit, this utter wank shite decided, I know what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take really, really important moments out of the film. So if you watch it in cinema, you'll be like, I don't get it. And they'll be like, if you want the rest of the film, you gotta pay for it in the director's cut. And the number one thing I hate about this movie is, why are they fighting? Narrow down exactly why they're fighting. Bruce Wayne wants to stop Superman because if there's even a 1% chance he is the enemy, they've got to take it as an absolute certainty. I think you're overreacting there, but you do have a valid point. In fact, Lex Luthor's plan of having a kryptonite bullet as a deterrent, not a bad one when you really think about it, instead of just going, I'm going to war with this god. Because so far, all he's wanted to do is save people. They could have handled Metropolis' fight a lot better against General Zod, but it causes controversy. Okay, it makes sense now. Like, it's the building block to the second film. I get it now. Fair enough. But why is Superman fighting Batman? There's a moment where Superman is just talking to Batman. Just talking before the fight kicks off. And Superman instigates the fight with that shove that sends Batman flying away. If he had sat there and... Look at me trying to... I'm trying to stop violence, for Christ's sake. But the film could have been written a better way that just talking wouldn't have done it. You know, a fight was the only way it was going to go down. If you look at the cartoon that this is based off of, The Dark Knight Returns, Batman's fighting for good fights still. He was retired, now he's back with a brand new Robin and he's kicking all sorts of ass, right? And Superman's sent in to stop him because all the superheroes have got to retire apart from Superman, right? So Batman's fighting for his own freedom and Superman is like just trying to restrain an old friend. It's like, Bruce, you've been through too much, it's time to lay it down. Fairly good reasons to have that fight because Bruce ain't going to stop and Superman is going to have to stop him. In this one, Batman has got to try and stop Superman in his mind, so he's justified in his own mind to do so. Superman's not fighting for anything apart from trying to save his loved ones, and he's fighting the wrong guy. So, give me a better reason why they should fight, and then I'll watch it. That being said, we're going to move on to the 3 good things of this movie. Start with number 3, Wonder Woman. When I heard Wonder Woman would be in this movie, I was like, oh, for Christ's sake. It's too much. She is fantastic. She's smart, she's sexy, she's a badass, you know. I'm sure she has a personality too, but details, no, I'm joking. No, she just brought so much to this very short performance, you know, like her flirting with Bruce Wayne, her mysterious ways, you know, the big reveal of like who she actually is and that is fantastic. And when she's fighting Doomsday, boom, it's brilliant. Love it. And number 2, Batman and Alfred's relationship. We've talked a lot about Batman and how I thought his performance was fine, but it's complemented so well by Jeremy Irons as Alfred. He's snarky, like sarcastic mutterings to himself going about his business, like, oh, I hope the future generation of Waynes don't inherit an empty wine cellar. Not like there likely is going to be any future Waynes. It's just like, don't give a fuck. I love it. That's pretty much it, I'm not gonna lie. And the number 1 thing I do like about this movie is the opening setup. Seriously, that part where Ben Affleck, he jumps off the helicopter straight into his car and he's driving through a war-torn metropolis. Fast-paced, well-edited, cinematography is boom, amazing. You know, the whole setup of like, this is Superman's fault. Great setup to a shit movie. And now comes to my rating. If I was just doing the cinema one, I'd give it a 2 out of 10, but the director's cut does give you more understanding and does make a lot more sense. So to be fair, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Very, very lackluster. So, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and as always, leave me them dirty comments, and I'll see you all next time. Take care now.